49 here this afternoon, and great guard play for both teams should be a factor in this one, Brent. For Calvin, it's Jordan Brink, one of the top 20 scorers right now in Division III basketball.
Yeah, Jordan Brink certainly, Tom, is the straw that stirs the drink for Calvin offensively. And the Knights are going to need him here today at DeVos Fieldhouse, no question about it. He leads Calvin in every statistical category coming into this game. Hope's going to have to find a way to stop him if the Dustmen want to win this game today. He is going to definitely dictate how Calvin's offense runs in this game today.
Well, the guy that Calvin's had a lot of difficulty with over the last 2.5 years is Alex Edson. Great streaky shooter from the outside. He's a guy that Calvin has not always been able to stop, and he gets it going before the home crowd here today. It's going to be a long afternoon for the Knights.
Well, the Flying Dutchmen this season, Tom, have had really good inside gameplay, but their MO for many, many years has been their guard play and how they play at the perimeter. Hope College has lived and died with three-pointers. Calvin this season has had difficulty guarding the three-point ball. We will find out today if they will continue to have that kind of success here.
And today we welcome back to the rivalry Greg Mitchell, the head coach in his first year at Hope. Played here 25 years ago. And another newcomer that could factor in, Cameron Denny, a Division II transfer, playing for only the second time here for Calvin this afternoon. Should be a great afternoon of basketball. We're glad you're with us. It's Hope Calvin coming up next right here.
With 4 seconds left in this contest, down by 3.
Fellas, that's a great effort to get back where we are. Well, looks like we got 4 seconds. We got to have a 3. It can't be a 2. We're down 3. And here's what we're going to do. Judge, you're going to make this and we'll win the game in overtime.
At Hope, it's about challenging your mind. Hope. Learn it, love it, live it.
Cunningham Dahlman PC, attorneys at law, proud sponsor of Hope vs. Calvin basketball on WGVU TV. Cunningham Dahlman PC, accessible, responsive, effective. More information at holland-law.com. West Coast Eye Care of Holland is a proud sponsor of WGVU. Dr. Kate Mulder and staff invite you to see like you're in the front row. For more, 616-395-2020.
All right, welcome back to the DeVos Fieldhouse here in Holland, Michigan. We're just moments away from the start of this one. I'm Tom Cleary along with Brent Ashcroft, the third member of our crew, down on the sideline right now to talk about the keys to this afternoon's game. Ryan Terpstra. Ryan.
Hey, Tom. Brent, great to be with you this year. Let's start with the away team, Calvin College. The first key for them would be feeding Jordan Brink. This kid is having an amazing year for the Knights, 21 points per game, 6 boards. He is certainly the key player for Calvin in this one. Also, a very important key is winning the boards. Calvin, 80% over the last 9 years when they win the rebounding battle. So obviously that is an important thing for them. And so far so good for the Knights, as this year in 11 of the 12 games they've played, they have out-rebounded their opponent. Now when you go over to the Hope side, they need to keep firing away from downtown. Hope as a team is shooting 40% from distance so far this year. Meanwhile, Calvin not defending very well on the perimeter. They're struggling. They're giving up an average of 38% to opposing teams from beyond the three-point line. That is something the Flying Dutchman will be looking to exploit. And the last key, get your guards going for Hope. Ben Gardner, Alex Edson, they have to be aggressive and set the tone for Hope. Calvin's given up some big games this year to opposing guards. Edson and Gardner will be looking to exploit that for the Dutch. Tom, Brent, back to you.
All right, should be a great one. 3 guards set for both of these sides. We're going to enjoy watching that. Chad Carlson and Austin Parks will be handling the point duties, and they might loosen things up for the other people, the Edsons and Gardners and people like Jordan Brink and Jordan Daly. So we're about set to go. Let's turn it right now over to the public address announcer here at the DeVos Fieldhouse, Darren Dystermars.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask you to please rise. Ladies and gentlemen, the Holland Police Department Honor Guard. America with the playing of our national anthem. Please welcome the Hope College Saxophone Quartet. Ladies and gentlemen, the Hope College Saxophone Quartet. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the DeVos Fieldhouse here in the campus of Hope College for this afternoon's men's varsity contest between the Knights of Calvin College and your Hope College Flying Dutchmen. Here are this afternoon's starting lineups. First for the Knights at 1 forward, a 6'3" junior from Grand Rapids, number 34, Jordan Daly. And at 1 forward for the Flying Dutchman, a 6'2" junior from Grand Haven, number 10, Alex Edson. For the Knights, a 6'9" senior from Zeeland, number 32, Tyler Dykstra. And at 1 forward for the Flying Dutchman, a 6'6" sophomore from Canton, Ohio, number 34, Harrison Blackledge. Starting at center for the Knights, a 6'9" senior from Escondido, California, number 40, Daniel Stout. And at center for the Flying Dutchman, a 6'8" junior from Willowbrook, Illinois, number 40, Brock Benson. At 1 guard for the Knights, a 6'3" senior from Dyer, Indiana, number 12, Jordan Brink. And at 1 guard for the Flying Dutchman, a 6-foot junior from Carmel, Indiana, number 23, Ben Gardner. And at the final guard spot for the Knights, a 6-foot junior from Niles, number 10, Austin Parks. And at the final guard spot for the Flying Dutchman, a 5'7" sophomore from Rockford, number 11, Chad Carlson. Calvin College is coached by Kevin Vandestreek. Hope College is coached by Greg Mitchell. Your officials this afternoon, Mr. Wallace Whitfield, Mr. Brad Kloss, and Mr. Philip Miller.
All right, nary an empty seat here, Brent, as we get set for this one. Big student turnout. I think a lot of people are just happy to be outside of their houses after the weather we've had here the last 3 or 4 days, but should be a great one. And what I'm interested in seeing is how these point guards can affect the game. Carlson, the smallest guy, really the smallest guy in the court right now for Hope, playing against Austin Parks. And Parks, since entering the starting lineup late last year, has really made a difference. He's taken the ball handling load off Jordan Brink, who's kind of a classic 2-guard. Moves great without the ball, and very much the same way we'll see Alex Edson play for Hope. So these teams very, very evenly matched. might come down to a surprise performer here in this one as we get set to go.
Can't recall the last time, Tom, when Hope College was facing a must-win game on the first weekend of the MIAA season, but that is exactly what is the case here in this game. Hope obviously upset Wednesday night at Trine, a team that is coming of age a little bit in the conference, and this is a game that Hope needs to find a way to win, and obviously Calvin smells a little bit of blood in the water here this afternoon.
Philip Miller, Brad Klaus, and the man throwing the ball up in the middle today, Wallace Whitfield, the officials for our contest. First possession to Hope here at the DeVos Fieldhouse. Here's Carlson, Edson being chased early by Brink. So it's big offensive player against big offensive player, at least at this end of the floor. Brock Benson, this is Blackledge now. Harrison Blackledge. Benson trying to spin inside on Daniel Stout, gave him everything he had, not much there. Long gun for Carlson is a little bit short, but Carlson is nearly going to control. This is going to be basketball to Hope. The little guy took the first shot, came up a little bit empty on that one, but knocked out of bounds to the home side.
Early on, it looks like Coach Mitchell's certainly going to be going with the inside-out game, trying to establish the post play, kick it out to the guards, see if they can get some points on the perimeter, and we talked about that at the beginning.
This is a deep ball from Blackledge for three. Well, these two teams will both shoot it a lot from the outside. You know that Gardner has the ability to hit from out there, and certainly Edson. If Blackledge can do it, I don't think we're going to see Benson outside that much, but Calvin has got some players that will go long too, and they've got some slashers like this guy, Jordan Daly. The putback and one. It is inside the bucket for Daniel Stout after the miss by Daly, and Calvin has a chance to equalize. Have the big man from California. Nice play inside, nice follow, and you see Benson cracked him right across the chops, Brent Ashcroft, and Daniel Stout is not able to tie it up, and Benson is there to collect the free throw.
Well, Calvin's got the size advantage right now with the mix on the floor, no question about that, and size won out that play for sure.
This is a shot from about 10 for Gardner. So after missing their first shot, Hope has come back to hit the next couple. Great battle right now, Carlson with Austin Parks. Austin Parks will shoot from the outside, right on cue. This time it's wide right. In the shot clock age, that's something your point guard has to do every once in a while, just to open things up. You can't always wait until that clock runs down. Defenders are too good, and they can cover too much of the court. Here's Edson now. Blackledge hit his last three. Not lucky this time. Rebounded by Parks of Calvin. And now Brink, who's been off the ball a little bit here in the first minute 45, gets an opportunity. 32 for Calvin is Tyler Dykstra out there. Here's a long gun for Daly. Not really his shot, but inside. Stout. Parks going to try again for three. Boy, great job by Daly, who got pushed. They're going to call traveling. A little bit unlucky there, Brent Ashcroft, for Daly.
Yeah, no question. He was grabbing that ball, obviously losing his footing there and falling over. But he must have taken an extra step, no question about that.
It is what the official says it is, and that time they call the travel against Calvin. So Hope playing on the lead. It's 5-2 early on. Here's Edson. Brink keeping an eye on him. They've done a pretty good job in the first couple of minutes. Gardner got the big man on the switch. Let's see if he tries to get inside. Dykstra's not going to chase him beyond the perimeter and put himself at risk. Calvin did not get a good step out that time, and that makes it a 7-2 ball game. That's really the responsibility of the big man for Calvin, Brent, to get out there.
He needed to get out there, Tom, did not do it, and once again we're seeing these Hope guards getting space to get looks, and they're knocking shots down.
We're wondering a little bit about Brad Visser, whether he's going to be able to go. That's got to be a hand reaching in on Brink, but it's knocked out of bounds. I think it was Gardner who may have gotten away with a little bit of a grab on that one on the way through, but Calvin keeps the basketball.
Yeah, Visser, you mentioned, has an undisclosed injury. We were wondering if he was going to get a chance to play today.
Nice look inside, but Blackledge defended against the shot of Tyler Dykstra, and then Calvin commits a foul. And as we were talking about the possibilities for Calvin off the bench, Connor Vanderbrug comes in. Second generation Calvin player. His dad's a 1,000-point scorer back in the 80s for the Knights. Kevin Vandestreek talking right now with Tyler Dykstra, who's come over to the bench. Calvin with only one bucket, a putback in the first 3 minutes. Hope has been able to get into its sets. That would have been a long three try for Gardner. Benson, hounded by Parks on the double team. Back pass tipped away, but it came right to Blackledge. And then a great job by Jordan Brink. Brink to the front court. Well, that's a dangerous pass inside, and Carlson knocked it away from Stout. Calvin was lucky to get away with the first pass, but when the big man put it down, the little guy got after it. Blackledge ran through. That's going to be a charge. I think it's a pretty good call. That's going to go against Jordan Daly. Sometimes you'll see a player set up too early to take that charge, Brent, and then he's really not able to defend at all.
Yeah, he was moving and did not have the position first, and thus you had the foul called. Very good call, no question about that.
I'd love to see defenders just go out and defend, and to me it creates more problems than it's worth with people trying to set up and take charges. Daly talking it over with Alex Edson right now. They're having a rather spirited conversation. Daly looked back to the bench, and I think Kevin Vandestreek said, "You want to talk to anybody, talk to me." Leave Alex Edson alone. The free throw goes for Blackledge. He scored 4. Garner has scored 4. Two guys who are both from outside of the state of Michigan. Good start for Harrison Blackledge. Not a good start for Calvin.
Well, let's see if they can get Jordan Brink the ball here, maybe work him off a high screen. He has yet to take a shot in this basketball game, and as we discussed earlier, Tom, and as Ryan Terpstra also alluded to, he's the guy that has to run this offense. As he goes, the Knights will go, and he has it right now.
Gardner checked him pretty well. Dante Hawkins into the game, replacing Carlson for Hope. He's matched up against Parks. Stout way outside. That's not really a danger position for him. He's got to get down into the hole and make himself available. Daly finds Parks. Third attempt at a three. He's missed all 3. He's been wide open. Calvin for the first time will bring Cameron Denny. He's the transfer we talked about. Gardner went waltzing right through the defense. Kevin Vandestreek wants a 30-second timeout, and TJ Heisinger will check into the game as well. Hope is looking very calm and in command here, Brent, after losing during their game in the midweek.
Well, they're not really relying heavily on the outside shot right now, Tom. That's the thing. They're waltzing right up court and getting right to the rack with ease. And here's the play right here. Absolutely free on the baseline. Glides right in for an easy 2. Good timeout here by Kevin Vandestreek. Down by 9. Need to talk to the guys. They've got to get in their offensive sets here, Tom. They've got to figure out a way to get Brink the ball and get him a shot.
Well, I think Calvin really, if Parks is hitting, I mean, he's had 3 open looks at threes. I mean, he knocks down a couple of them, and this game is right where Calvin expects it to be. And if you're going to live with that shot, you got to continue to live with it. You can't say we're just going to shoot it a little bit, and if we miss, change our game plan. If you're a three-point shooting team, you got to stay with it.
8-0 run for Hope.
Parks quickly ahead here, comes across to Cameron Denny. Good player, got some size. That's a tough shot for Brink, and wow. Boy, he tattooed it from distance.
And they needed it, and they needed to see him do it.
Oh, they got a hand on that ball. Let's see what Parks can do with numbers. He's looking for Brinks. Instead, they're going to go down the middle. Well, they should have carried right on into the lane that time. Calvin getting inside. Brinks on Gardner, got a little shove and hit it against pressure.
Right on cue, Tom. 2 possessions, 2 Brink shots, and he knocks them both down.
A little bit unlikely, both of them, too. He got contact. That was kind of an NBA continuation jump shot that he hit right there off 1 foot. Grand Valley guarding against Cody Stivey, who's in there right now for Hope. Both teams making some changes. Very nearly a turnover. Calvin wants to keep pushing. Tell you what, Calvin's not switching very well on the high screen and roll here. That time Parks got underneath it. Hawkins looking to go. That's a great move by Hawkins, who cannot fix the shot and get it down, but it's knocked out of his hands, out of bounds, and that brings us to our first media timeout. Calvin with a little bit of a rally, 5 points from Jordan Brink. We'll take a break and come back with more here today from the DeVos Fieldhouse.
Support by Freedom Village, a retirement community located in Holland, Michigan. Freedom Village is all about location. We are less than 3 blocks from historical downtown Holland and Hope College. Our city under roof offers an all-inclusive lifestyle for active seniors. We have an indoor swimming pool, hot tub, and gymnasium. We offer chef-prepared menus in our 5 dining rooms, a general store, full-service bank, and beauty salon. Our life care contract offers you long-term protection for all levels of care under one roof.
By recycling paper, plastics, metals, and more, Padness is making the world we live in a better one. Padness, recycling the world over and over.
This is the place where your mentors are looking for a cure, and you get to do it too. This is the place where your roommate is preparing an art exhibition, while you're marketing the show. This is the place where your engineering project not only earns you an A, but a seat at the table in the global conversation on clean water. This is your place in a big world. Plan accordingly.
And this one's starting to settle in a little bit. Brent Ashcroft. Calvin was down big early on in this contest, but Jordan Brink, sensing perhaps that something needed to be done, hit a tough 3-pointer and then hit an even tougher 2-point shot against pressure from Gardner. So it's interesting to see the way the pressure is occurring. Brink is guarding Edson at the defensive end, and he's facing probably the better defender in Gardner when he goes down into Calvin's front court. Gardner's a very physical player. I think you want to keep the ball in Brink's hands against him. Maybe try for some attrition through fouls. Connor Vanderbrug. This is Brink again. That ball got knocked away. It was a soft pass over the top. That doesn't work very well these days in this game. Gardner now looking inside Blackledge. Hawkins thought about a 3. Settles for the free throw line, Jay. His second attempt misses. And here comes Parks on the move now for Calvin. Oh, that's a good look inside and a great feed for the bucket. It was T.J. Heisinger from Austin Parks.
From Austin Parks, got leaked out underneath. Great no-look feed over the defense, got it to him. And Calvin's got a little run going here, Tom.
Calvin now down just 2. From the outside, this is an arching 3 that will not go for Stivey. There's a great offensive rebound inside by Blackledge, who I believe was fouled by Parks. It'll result in 2 free throws coming up. What's intriguing to see, Brent, in today's game with so many good 3-point shooters out there, it's the substitutes that come in and they'll fire from 3 with impunity as well, and that's just something, that's the way the game is developed now in college basketball. Even you would think that would be a shot reserved for your best shooter or maybe your best 2 shooters, but the way kids play today, it's anybody can hit it from that long line.
Well, it's just amazing how much 1 3-point basket can change the complexion of a basketball game, and especially when you go cold for a while and then one guy hits one, then all of a sudden defensively you have to make some different decisions when they come up court the next time.
Blackledge gets 1 out of 2. It's the first point for Hope in a while, and Calvin's going to change up, and they've got Tony Canoni in there right now.
Almost an over and back there.
Very nearly. Almost an all the way across and all the way back. That was Brad Visser with the ball. And here goes the new guy inside. What a great feed that is. And a great bucket as well for Calvin. It's Heisinger from Denny, who kind of no-looked at Irvin Johnson style there. A little backhanded shuffle. This is Gardner. Got that one knocked out of the arena. Gardner playing for contact. He's going to be replaced by Carlson right now. Take a look at it again. Gardner going down. And what really makes that play is the inside defender gives a little bit of ground. He senses that Gardner's maybe a touch out of control, and he can't do anything about the shot anyway, so he lets it go, and then the help side comes over and gets the takeaway. Sam Otto's in right now. Blackledge goes in through his body right into the defender who was backing up Connor Vanderbrug. And Blackledge really being a great force in this game for the home side so far.
Yeah, he Gets the ball off the curl there, Tom, and goes hard to the rack. Obviously, if it had gone, we're looking at a three-point play here, but looking to pick up the foul, and he did. Chance to get 2 here at the stripe.
Blackledge missed the first free throw last time and then made the second. But the only thing he hasn't done perfectly so far in this contest. Young man from Ohio with 6 points, looking for his 7th. Calvin is drawn to within 1. So Blackledge has provided some valuable offense so far, and let's see if Calvin's got people off the bench who can run the offense here. This is Canoni. He's a freshman from South Haven. Calvin a little bit loose with it. Long triple try, will not go for Brad Visser. And here comes Hawkins now. That's a nice pass ahead to Carlson. Blackledge, Hawkins, that's a bomb. Very nearly got there. The putback from Blackledge might have been just deflected a touch on the way up. Somebody came out of nowhere. I couldn't see who it was. A lot of the mainframe players are out of there right now. Little back feed. Visser rebounded by Stivey. And Carlson trying to seep through. Hawkins. Stivey. Good look. Good release there. You can almost sense it, Brent. We were lined up with him right behind, and he did everything right. Got composed, got set, deep knee bend, high arch, nothing but net. 16-11. Visser from the short corner, the miss by Vanderbrug. Calvin's got people at the bench waiting to come back on. That's a great reverse there for Sam Otto. Now Vandestreek has watched as that lead is mushroomed back up to 7.
Hope making it happen right now on the offensive side, Tom. They've got the half-court offense working really well, and again, Calvin defensively just not locking down on the baseline.
That is not the shot Calvin really wanted there from Cameron Denny. The putback doesn't go for Visser, but Calvin gets a takeaway, and now the little guy fills a 3. That's Canoni, and that was really needed for Calvin.
Unguarded
Carlson.
3.
I don't know how that ball came back to Calvin there. There's only one guy in the area. And the mistake Canoni makes right there is that he let the bigger guy catch it in front of him. That brings us to immediate timeout. 10:56 left in the first half. Hope will shoot some free throws when we come back here today on WGBU.
With 4 seconds left in this contest, down by 3.
Fellas, that's a great effort to get back where we are. It looks like we got 4 seconds. We got to have a 3. It can't be a 2. We're down 3. And here's what we're going to do. Judge, you're going to make this and we'll win the game in overtime.
At the Community Foundation of the Holland-Zeeland area, we know the impact of charitable giving. We build our community's endowment to ensure the future vitality of Holland and Zeeland. We'll always be around for good forever.
Hi, I'm Paula Kerger. Friday nights on PBS is a celebration of the arts where the stars come out on America's largest stage. Your home for the arts every Friday night is right here on WGVU.
Ariana is a very special child. She's a definite gift. With Down syndrome, there are a lot of challenges. Good job. And PBS Kids really helps me as a parent. Ariana loves to watch Super Y.
Which letters did you find?
When Super Y was asking, what letters do you see? Ariana said A. She actually said A on her own. It made my heart jump for joy. And that's why I value PBS Kids.
Well, we've seen some spectacular athletic plays. This one right here, Sam Otto goes all the way back up and around. Reverses at the rim, and then after this pick right here, great work done by TJ Heisinger, who snuck in, knocked down the outlet pass, Brent, and then Tony Canoni puts down a 3.
Well, if you're Tony Canoni, you're going to take that shot in that situation. You better make that shot in that situation. I don't think Calvin had a defender within 10 feet of the basket at that point. Most of those guys had already ran back up court trying to get into their defensive set. And ice in his veins, he made it. And we have a 4-point basketball game thanks to that shot.
Calvin's made some changes here. Brink is back into the game. Daly's back, and also Parks is back on. That's Benson, who had it knocked out of his hands, out of bounds. Parks is the guy that reached in. Nice when it works, but you don't want to be giving away fouls if you're a little guy underneath there on a shot like that. Here's Blackledge now. Benson trying to post. Outside Edson, who's been quiet, remains so. That's a good play by Jordan Daly, who stayed with it, and Garner, who's probably the most physical player out here for either side, despite the fact that Garner is only 6 feet tall. He's a pure Indiana-style basketball player. He'll fight you tooth and nail, and he'll take it right up to the letter of the law when he's defending. Very tough guy to shake. Great competitor. Calvin now trying to draw within one, maybe with a three. This is Brink. Daly. Stout picked up his dribble, probably shouldn't have. Daly thought about a three. He's going to try to go by Benson. Benson did enough to put him off. That might be Calvin basketball. No, they're going to say Hope. Good work done by Benson, down in the hole and then picking up on Daly. Daly tried to force the issue, draw a foul, and Benson played him tough. So Hope back with it with Carlson across the timeline. Edson has been guarded well by Brink so far. Edson has not yet scored in the first half of the first half.
I was surprised about that one, Tom. I figured he'd have a few at this point, but got to give Kelvin's defense credit for clamping him up.
Carlson missed a triple try from the corner, and Grand Valley, I should say Calvin. I've got Grand Valley in my brain after seeing Grand Valley Walsh this week. It's Calvin with the basketball right now, of course. Daniel Stout. Tough shot. Problem with that shot, if you miss it, if you're 6'9", is that there's no 6'9" guy underneath the glass to go pick it for you.
And Hope has taken advantage of exactly that right now.
Edson, tough three try, short. That was so off, it bounded past Parks, who couldn't get back to the ball. Carlson looking at Austin Parks right now. Edson might be pressing just a little bit on those last two attempts as he's trying to get something going. Blackledge, nice move inside, cut off. That's very nearly a travel, probably should have been. Shot won't go from the corner and pulled out by that guy, Jordan Brink, again for Calvin. Brink is looking to go. Oh, he drew some contact. Will they give him two? I don't think so. I think they're going to call this before the shot, a common foul. Yes, indeed. But it's a pretty clever move by Jordan Brink to get that shot up off the dribble after he got the push.
Well, I like the decision there, too, by him to take it. He saw no other Calvin player really close. Didn't want to have to make that extra pass if he didn't have to. Picked up a foul.
Look at Brink trying to go on Gardner. Just forced it up over the top. Had the look he wanted. Giving chase to Edson now. Going right into the big man. Missed the shot. Great work by Daniel Stout. Edson was a little bit out of control, and Stout just kept backing away and didn't take a bad foul. Brink for three.
That one was from 28 feet.
That was a long ball. Now Edson still scoreless, trying to get something going. Brink is winning that battle so far, although things could change very quickly with three-point shooters. Benson against Stout, looking to go back to his right hand. Got it inside. Blackledge off his chest, out of bounds to Calvin. Well, the play made by Tyler Dykstra, who tipped that ball off the chest of Benson, and Calvin trailing by one now, looking, Brent, for its first lead of the ball game. As Steven Wittenbach comes in, Blackledge goes out, Carlson's out, and Hawkins is back in. Steven Wittenbach was a big high school scorer at Forest Hill Central. Missed last year due to injury, but then came back, decided he wanted to play some more. So he's back for his junior season at Hope. This is Parks, Stout, Daly. Well, the big guy picked up the dribble quickly. Now he's in a fix. Daly looking to go on Hawkins. Daly's second attempt doesn't go. Wittenbach pulled it out. No, it's very nearly a travel. Wasn't a carry. The referee signaled it wasn't a carry, but it might well have been a travel. This is Wittenbach missing, or actually not Wittenbach, but that's Corey McMahon who's in there for a Hope right now.
Calvin settling here for some half-court offense, Tom. Let's see if they can get into a set here and take the lead for the first time in this basketball game.
Brink looking to go on Gardner. Forced it, no, and a great rebound for Benson. I think Brink is getting what he wants, though, most of the time. Gardner has tried to stave him off as we see McMahon hit his second attempt. It's now a 3-point ball game again, and not much to choose between these two sides, Brent.
Not at all. No question about that. See if Brink has another ball here, if they're going to get it inside to somebody, maybe try to draw a foul.
I like the offense going through Brink here, and I like this matchup. Garner's a good player, but he's not a real big guy. Stout got fouled from the man in front, not on the shot block from behind, but the guy that got him was Corey McMahon. Stout will shoot 2, and we'll take another break here. 6:43 remaining. It's still Hope clinging to a 3-point lead.
And I'm trembling. That's right, you got me shaking.
This program is brought to you by Roward Inc. Incorporated, featuring AC Delco Parts. Roward Inc. Incorporated is locally owned and operated since 1919. For more on AC Delco Parts, RowardInc.com.
By recycling paper, plastics, metals, and more, Padness is making the world we live in a better one. Padness, recycling the world over and over.
State and West Michigan news, in-depth features and interviews, reports on the financial markets and technology. Midday West Michigan, weekdays from noon to 1 on WGVU FM, 88.5 Grand Rapids and 95.3 Muskegon.
At Hope, it's more than just a game. Hope. We live for this.
We have a look at the Flying Dutchman. How do you fly with a noggin that looks at like that?
Yeah,
that wouldn't look very aerodynamic to me. But where there's a will, there's a way. It's happening right now for Hope, despite the fact that Alex Edson, for the first 13 minutes plus, has not scored. 7 for Blackledge, 6 for Ben Gardner, 8 for Jordan Brink to lead the way for Calvin.
Yeah, Edson 0 for 3, Tom. No points. That to me is the glaring stat right now on the stat page.
Well, how about this? Brink is leading his team in scoring. He's guarding the best scorer on the other team, who's got 0. So you can't say he's not getting it done today. Jordan Brink playing pretty well at both ends. Daniel Stout has made a contribution. Hit the free throw for his 3rd point, and that gets Calvin within 1. Stout is going to come out. Cameron Denny, sophomore from Bluffton, Indiana, the transfer who just became eligible. You can tell he's a physical kid, got some athletic ability. They like him. They think he's going to play more and more as the year goes on. This is Hawkins, tipped by Parks. Parks almost got there to retrieve.
Division II transfer, Cameron Denny, Tom, came from Delta State University in Mississippi. So
I suspect he looked at the map one day and realized that Bluffton, Indiana was a long way from the Delta and just came back. Wittenbach in the corner, Hawkins. Sam Otto on the ball right now for Hope, cut off by Denny. Otto picked up his dribble. Wittenbach, Hawkins, clock running down. That's a long triple try. No. Calvin with it with Denny. Denny looking to go all the way. Picked up the foul, and he'll have a chance. Well, it's a common foul. Only the 6th foul against Hope in this situation, or maybe the 5th. 5 against both teams. It has not been a game filled with fouls here in the first 14 minutes. Parks outside, looking to set up to Denny. That's kind of a long looping jumper that doesn't go. Rebounded by TJ Heisinger. Fresh shot clock here for the Knights. Parks looking to go. He's all the way home, and he gets it down.
First lead of the game for the Knights.
And they left the back door open for Austin Parks, who scores on his first 2-point field goal try. He had missed 3 threes earlier First lead of the game for Calvin.
They're getting offensive rebounds, Tom, and they're being able to turn some of those into points. Calvin is leading in the rebounding category right now, 19-15 over Hope.
That's just great defense there. Sam Otto had to go over the top of 3 guys, missed the shot, and Calvin had those tall trees in there to rebound the basketball. Parks on the ball, crossed over again, got it to the open man, but Vanderbrug decided not to shoot. Who is the shooter with this group out there for Calvin? I'm not quite sure. I think we're going to find out right now. A little jump hook is up and down for Connor Vanderbrug. Calvin with a 3-point lead, and now a quick 30 taken by Greg Mitchell as his team tries to figure something out. We'll keep it here right now. We talked about Edson not scoring in the first 15 minutes, and he's not coming back in at this substitution either. So Greg Mitchell is going to try to sort it out at the moment without him. But you'd still expect that at some point in time, Brent, Alex Edson's going to get it going. He gets that first one to knock the lid off the basket, and that could be the start of something big. But right now you'd have to say that Brink has been the guy defensively, slowing down Edson and making it happen at the offensive end.
Well, we talked about that at the beginning. Jordan Brink stirs the drink for the Calvin Knights, and he's been able to get free, find his shot a little bit, run that offense. 13 of Hope's 20 points are from Harrison Blackledge and Ben Gardner. Blackledge with 7, Gardner with 6. You want to see Gardner get the points. Blackledge having a nice game, obviously, for Hope. No question about that. He's picked up some of the slack that Edson is not able to right now. And I know Hope is certainly hoping Edson can get going in this basketball game.
Otto's right now out there with Blackledge, Gardner, Hawkins, and also Cody Stivey. This is Otto, Gardner. It's interesting. They give this left-hander the baseline. They want to influence him left, and they cut him off. That's a tough triple try, and it's down. Beautiful shot by Sam Otto. Defender right up in his nostrils on that one. Calvin with Heisinger on the ball. Vanderbrug. Michael Welsh is in the game right now. Parks is going to try for 3, and this one he gets. That's 5 for Austin, and big clap from Jordan Brink, who's getting set to come back in for Calvin.
Not many made threes, Tom, in this basketball game combined between both teams up until the last 45 seconds.
That's what we said about Parks. He can shoot from distance, and you got to keep it going if you're getting the shot. That one goes wide. Stivey might be able to chase it down. He does a nice job. Bounces it off the Calvin player as we now move down to the final media timeout of the first half. 3:50 remaining, and Calvin is edged out on top here, 26-23.
This is the place where your mentors are looking for a cure, and you get to do it too. This is the place where your roommate is preparing an art exhibition while you're marketing the show. This is the place where your engineering project not only earns you an A, but a seat at the table in the global conversation on clean water. This is your place in a big world. Plan accordingly.
WGVU is seeking a motivated person with a track record of success in sales. Visit gvsujobs.org for more details and to apply for the WGVU Adjunct Business Development Coordinator position. WGVU and GVSU are equal opportunity employers.
Support by Freedom Village, a retirement community located in Holland, Michigan. Freedom Village is all about location. We are less than 3 blocks from historical downtown Holland and Hope College. Our city under roof offers an all-inclusive lifestyle for active seniors. We have an indoor swimming pool, hot tub, and gymnasium. We offer chef-prepared menus in our 5 dining rooms, a general store, full-service bank, and beauty salon. Our life care contract offers you long-term protection for all levels of care under one roof.
Well, there we see the 3-point shot by Otto a couple of moments ago for Hope, and Calvin then came back at the other end, and Parks got free, and he knocked one down as well. These two teams, Brent, shooting in the 30s range right now, which it's not that surprising. There's so much emotion in this basketball game, in this series, that these guys get amped up to play some defense too.
No question about that. Both teams have definitely stepped up defensively here in the last 10 minutes of this basketball game. Calvin still with the rebounding edge, and that pretty much is translated to the difference in them having a 3-point lead in this basketball game. Good to see Parks, though, get a 3 to go in. May help for Calvin here.
Hope has got its starting lineup out there, Brent, right now, except for Stivey, who's replaced Benson. That's kind of an egregious miss by Carlson, who I think felt a little bit of heat when he tried to launch that one. This is Jordan Daly right now for Calvin, out there with Parks and Brink. So the starting 3 guards are on the floor. I should say the starting 3 perimeter players are on the floor for Calvin. Here's Brink. Parks. That is a deep, deep, deep ball. Didn't really want to shoot it, I don't think. And I think this is going to be, no, they're going to call that against Tyler Dykstra, who got tangled up with Stivey. That looked like WWE right there. You had a couple of guys with their hands inside the other guy's shirt.
They were fighting each other and not going after the loose ball. It was dribbling its way out of bounds there. Hope with a chance here. Still 3 minutes to go before half.
Triple here will tie it, and here's the guy who can do it, Edson, who's been guarded by a very calm-looking Jordan Brink right in front of us. He's on his game today. Gardner got away, left it short. Benson couldn't, I should say, Daly rebounding for Calvin.
Well, right now for Hope, Tom, it's one and done for them. And if they're not able to score, Calvin is getting out with the rebound and trying to turn it into points, which they just did.
That's a triple that goes down for Vanderbrug. Interesting player, this guy. Vanderbrug, a freshman from Elmhurst, Illinois.
Edson just missed a bunny.
Boy, you know, he's starting to squeeze it just a little bit, but he's just got to stay after it. This is Daly now. Calvin getting some space. Daly got a break, a step back 3 again. This time for Tyler Dykstra. And suddenly, Brent, the lead is 9 for Calvin.
Well, the Knights are getting confidence, Tom. They're starting to shoot it. They're starting to feel it.
Ben
Again,
Gardner.
it's a one-and-done situation for Hope.
That ball rang out for him. It's a good look, and it's a good shot. And here's Brink saying, we're just going to take our time. Brink looking to go, pulls up, knocked it down. Beautiful ball there for Jordan Brink. And now what do we have? A turnover in the backcourt. I just looked back to see the trail end of that play, and I think it was Parks inducing a travel from Carlson. And now a 30 taken again by Greg Mitchell. I don't know if we can roll back and see that again, but Parks was involved in the play, and Carlson was as well. I didn't see the ball go out of bounds, but I think that Parks jumped up on him, creating the turnover.
Well, the Flying Dutchman, Tom, just 1 for their last 9 shooting in this basketball game over the last 6 minutes. And that's just not going to get it done. We talked about second chance opportunities. You know, the Dutchmen may not be down by 11 points if they had gotten a couple of second chance, a couple of offensive rebounds on some of those misses, but Calvin has snagged every one of them and waltzed down the court here and put together some nice half-court offense and been able to translate those into some points, and all of a sudden you have a big bulge here now for the Knights. Big turnaround in this basketball game, no question.
I don't know that Calvin is necessarily a lot bigger than Hope, but when they go to the bench, they've got more size than Hope has coming off the bench. I think Blackledge can compete, and also Benson, but Calvin's got a couple other big guys out there as well. Stout will hand it off to Brink. It's interesting, they're playing Parks off the ball, and they want to make Gardner work against Brink. They like the matchup. That ball was thrown away by Brink. He thought that Daly would be staying back, and Daly started to go toward the basket, so that went right into the student section. As we get down to the final 100 seconds here of the first half, it's Calvin surprisingly leading by 11. First chance for Edson, still not going down. He wanted a foul call there, and I'm not so sure I don't agree with him. Seemed to be a little bit of contact, but it's a big boy game right now. Here's Parks looking to go. Calvin is up by 11, and they just want to run clock right now. Dykstra, that was lost by Daly, and there was some bumping there. Carlson ahead of Gardner. They want to get Edson going, and Edson double pumped and still does not get it down. That is going to be Hope basketball. And Edson's going to sit. And it's just been a nightmare for him in the first half.
No, so far, he's probably done for the half, no question about that. Let him get his bearings here at halftime, maybe come out in the second half and be able to do a little bit of damage here for Hope. They need him scoreless. 0 for 6 Edson in this game for Hope. Shocking.
This is Carlson for 3, and finally one goes down. It's the small man, Chad Carlson.
Badly needed basket there for the Dutchman, Tom.
Calvin is going to probably, I'm going to say they're going to get 2 for 1 here, but I'm not certain of that. They want to make this their best possession, and that's going to be a foul inside that's going to go against Gardner. He tried to sneak one past Brad Klaus. It didn't work, and it will be a shooting situation. Let's see, is it going to be Daly? Wallace Whitfield right now talking to Ben Gardner and suggesting that the conversation about fouls has gone just about far enough. Gardner's going to come out. Well, they snuck that foul up on the board before I realized it. I thought it was going to be the 7th team foul, but it's only the 6th. So we'll get Vanderbroek back on. Stout goes out. What it does, it allows Kelvin Brent to really almost hold for the final shot of the half. Slight difference in the game and shot clocks. And Kelvin might just take this one all the way down and say, even if we miss, we've got an 8-point halftime lead. Parks against Carlson. A little bit of a hand check there that they let go. Backdoor pass to Daly. Daly forces it up. Not good recognition there by Daly against Benson. Tried to slide around him, and got to be a little more clever with the basketball than that.
Yeah, Benson had position, Tom, no question about that. And Daly just saw the opening, saw the rack, tried to get there. I agree with you. I think Calvin should have just kind of held on to the basketball right there, let the clock dribble down. If they make, great. If they don't, you're up by 8. You really made some hay in the final 9 minutes of that first half. Instead, Hope with a chance here to give itself a little bit of life going into halftime if they can make.
Hawkins looking to go all the way down. Pumps, cannot get it. It's going to be rebounded by Benson. His ball is rejected, and that will end the first half. The tall timber making a difference for Calvin, and the Knights will walk off the court with a lead of 34-26, and I suspect that means that we will have Ryan Terpstra momentarily talking with Tim Van Dyke, the Calvin assistant. Or is it going to be Coach Vandestreek? Well, there's a surprise. Let's go down right now to Kevin Vandestreek with Ryan Terpstra. Ryan.
Hey, thank you, Tom. We are very happy to have Coach Vandestreek joining us. Now, Coach, your team started slowly, then you took a 30-second timeout, and things seemed to get better from there. Was it a change, or did you guys just start playing a little bit better?
Well, I don't think it's a very good basketball game, in honesty, right now. A lot of missed shots. Defensively, I thought we gave them a lot of open looks. They just didn't make them, and offensively, we need to do a better job reading our ball screens. We had chances of slip or flip, even twist. We had some opportunities, and we just kind of gotten a little monotonous there. So hopefully we stretch it out. Both teams feeling each other out. You know, we're both a little inexperienced in roles and all those kind of things that first half, you know, you just kind of get it under your belt and go about your business.
You guys did do a good job on the boards. Is that something you're going to keep to emphasize with this team in the locker room?
Yeah, that's something we always try to hang our hat on, you know, and so I think we should be a good rebounding team, and we want to stay after it.
All right, best of luck in the second half, Coach. Thank you. All right, back to you, Tom.
All right, Kevin Vandestreek. That's some pretty high standards right there, Brent. He's up by 8. He said, I think it's a very good basketball game, but we certainly get the message. He knows what's happening right now. He wants his team to defend better, because if those balls from Edson and some of the others are going down, it would be a different contest. We'll take a break right now. It's halftime. Calvin on top here in Holland. It's 34-26.
Anyone who knows me knows that I'm a worrier. When I was a freshman in high school, I was already like, where am I going to go to college? What am I going to do? I started playing the violin when I was in 6th grade, but my interests were in science, so I wasn't sure if I could do both. I took some Spanish courses here when I was in high school, and I love the professors, I love the atmosphere, and when I was touring for other schools, like I just kept thinking of Hope, so I just chose Hope as seemed like the logical choice.
Maria came to Hope College like many students do, eager to learn, eager to explore.
Do I pursue biology? Do I pursue computer science? Do I go to grad school, med school? Do I just go to work?
She immediately sort of gave you an impression of this is somebody who really was excited about being at Hope College and about being in college, and really interested in doing something. So she was part of a learning group program that we have where we have students come in and sort of do science right off the bat. So their first day in college, they come into lab and they just kind of get right into a research project.
Doing a student-faculty collaborative research program really allowed her to see those powerful connections between fields of science. One of the things we really encourage them to do is take advantage of opportunities outside the classroom.
I had the opportunity to be a part of the Howard Hughes Medical Institute XROT program.
It gives students opportunities to go into sort of high-powered labs around the country.
We got to work in one of the labs and interact with scientists. We got to do some of the techniques and use some of the equipment they use every day to make these outstanding discoveries. I've been part of different midterms through the biology department. I got to go to the Galapagos in Ecuador 2 summers ago, and then I got to go to Tanzania last summer.
She went with a group of students with a faculty member, and they were embedded for a number of weeks.
We got to see animals, interact with people from the community.
This gives them real-world experience in another culture.
Part of the liberal arts experience at Hope really provides students with the opportunity to explore things around and outside of their area of focus. I decided to keep going with violin even though I wasn't a music major. I don't feel like I have to give up part of myself to pursue something else. Everything comes together, and that's something that I really value.
One of the beautiful things about setting one's learning inside a faith tradition is that gives students and faculty the freedom to ask questions about how does faith impact one's calling, one's vocation, one's future.
I recently received an offer from a company in San Francisco.
She came not knowing quite what she wanted to study.
And so what Hope has provided is sort of many opportunities for gaining different types of experiences.
These experiences that we hope all of our students have are preparing them for a very bright future.
I'm really excited to see my software skills be used to help solve problems that people encounter every day. I'm really excited to see where it takes me.
Today's game is underwritten by the Community Foundation of the Holland-Zeeland area, creating lasting positive change in our community. Cunningham, Dahlman PC, accessible, responsive, effective. Freedom Village, an elegant retirement lifestyle. Lawrence and Vanderswart, it's good to have a plan. Padnos, paper, plastics, metal, and more. Rowerdink Incorporated, featuring AC Delco parts. West Coast Eye Care, see like you're in the front row.
It is halftime here at DeVos Fieldhouse in Holland, Michigan. Tom Cleary along with Brent Ashcroft and Ryan Terpstra for the Hope Calvin game. This is contest number 189 if you're keeping track, and you can be sure that people here are keeping track of that. Let's talk a little bit about what the numbers have been in the first half here, Brent. And the biggest number that jumps off the page for me as far as Hope is concerned, 3-point shooting, 4 of 18. Calvin hasn't shot that well from distance, but respectable, just under 50%, but for Hope, the long ball has not been happening.
And that's partly because Alex Edson has not really gotten a chance whatsoever here to score. He's had a couple of chances, obviously, a couple of drives to the basket, come away with nothing. He's tried to shoot the ball from 3, come away with nothing. It's just got a lid on it right now for him. Brock Benson, too, Tom, 0 for 1. He's only taken 1 shot, no points for Brock Benson. These are 2 guys Hope really relies on in terms of scoring. and both of them have combined to score nothing at halftime of this basketball game so far.
Well, it's been a hotly contested game. Both teams have rebounded about equally, 24 rebounds for both sides. Calvin is not shooting the ball especially well, but it looks as though Calvin, to me, is maybe a touch deeper. They've got a total of 6 different players who have scored more than 2 points in this contest so far. So that's why they're on top by 8. It's 34-26 here at halftime. We're going to take another break and come back with more right here on WGVU.
And that's part of what Engage is all about, is you women making a difference.
Cause you're a sky full of stars. I'm gonna give you my heart. Cause you're a sky full of stars. Cause you light up the park. I don't care, go on and tear me apart. I don't care if you do.
That's great that we can share it, because this is a show that's made to be shared.
I hope it goes on because I'm hooked.
Morning 6:04. I'm David Moore with news at WGVU.
State and West Michigan news, in-depth features and interviews.
Welcome to the Grand Valley State Sports Report. I'm your host, Brent Ashcroft.
All right, Tom Cleary along with Brent Ashcroft here at the DeVos Fieldhouse. We're on the campus of Hope College, and the home side is down early in this one. At the intermission, it's 34-26. Here is Ben Gardner, who stepped just across the line before knocking down that jump shot with his partner in crime, Alex Edson, not scoring. Edson's work, or Gardner's work, became important. That was a beautiful play by Sam Otto on the reverse. Then Calvin starting to work inside, and this is the size that we talk about with Calvin. That's the shot by Connor Vanderbrug. And then later, Calvin stepping out for a 3 with Vanderbrug. This ball kept Hope in the late going. Chad Carlson, his only triple of the first half. But then Calvin comes back, and it is Tyler Dykstra. And that's how Calvin has done it so far. It's Calvin on top, 34-26. Brent Ashcroft, quick comment here on what we can expect. And we want to get down to Ryan Terpstra. We'll hang on momentarily for that. And Ryan's going to talk with Greg Mitchell, whose team has reappeared, but who himself has not. So let's see if we can wait for the coach here. Or
well, I'll sneak my comment in here, Tom, and you can just cut me off when you see Coach Mitchell come out. But clearly the story for Hope going into this second half is they've got to find a way to score the basketball. They are shooting 25% for this game, and you mentioned it going into halftime. They are just 4 of 18 from three-point land, and this is a team that lives and dies by the three.
Okay, well, Greg Mitchell has finally stepped out onto the court right now, and he is standing by with Ryan Terpstra. Let's get a comment from the first-year coach at Hope. Ryan.
Hey, thanks very much, Tom. I am here with Coach Greg Mitchell. It is your first time around here. You guys started off very hot, then the lid kind of went on the basket a little bit. Your thoughts on the first half?
Well, we settled too much. We settled for the three ball, and energy was great early. I think the difference early was we were going inside and kicking it out, pushing the ball in transition. I like what we're doing. We're taking care of the ball for the most part. Rebounding is even. We just, we can't get out here and act like there's a home run shot. We got to hit some singles right now. We'll be okay.
All right. What was anything in particular to the discussion at halftime? Something you'd like to see? I know Ben Gardner not scoring any points is definitely one key that you'd like to change.
Yeah, and that comes with balance. Again, that comes with we got to attack inside out. We can't just settle for the perimeter game. And Ben will get it going. I believe he'll make the adjustment he needs to make. But the big thing right now is we got to play together. We had too much, kind of playing by ourselves, trying to do it by ourselves. Ball's got to move. We got to move them and work inside out again.
Best of luck in the second half, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tom, back to you guys.
All right, time for a quick break here before we start the second half of action. It's Calvin on top, 34-26.
Hi, I'm Paula Kerger, President and CEO of PBS, and I am WGVU. WGVU and PBS mean something special to everyone. Share your story of what WGVU public media means to you at WGVU.org. Download the I Am WGVU sign and share your picture of where WGVU takes you. Remember to use hashtag I Am WGVU.
This program is brought to you by Roward Inc. Incorporated, featuring AC Delco Parts. Roward Inc. Incorporated is locally owned and operated since 1919. For more on AC Delco Parts, RowardInc.com.
Become a WGVU Explorer and join me, Michael Walenta, WGVU General Manager, on a British Landscapes tour to England, Scotland, and Wales. This exciting 10-day tour departs Grand Rapids on September 17, 2015. View the full itinerary online at wgvu.org/explorers. For more information, contact Hillary Furlick at 800-442-2771 or firlikh@gvsu.edu.
Well, we've suddenly become a techno dance club here, Brent, as we take a look at the monitor. The Hope fans not enjoying the result maybe at the moment, but they're continuing on with the party mood here. And if their team gets it going, they're going to do something real special here at the end of the game.
The early 1990s just will never die, huh? Techno, Ace of Base. You were a big fan of them.
Oh, yeah. All right, well, the two sides are back out onto the floor. Edson is out there with Gardner, Carlson, Benson, and Blackledge. And I'm going to check out the Calvin folks, and I think they've gone back to their starting lineup as well. Dykstra, Daly, Brink, Parks, and the man who will inbound, Daniel Stout. So here we go for the last 20 of regulation. Here's Austin Parks on the dribble. Now Brink against Gardner. Brink's going to jack a long one up. Gardner got there, and Carlson quickly on the move. They're looking for Edson on this side of the floor. Calvin kind of sensed it, and Brink dropped back on Edson. Oh, a nice touch there by Brink. The danger of that play is you get a finger on it, you knock it off the guy you're guarding, and then you got a turnover, but Edson pulled his hand back. And when Greg Mitchell was talking to Ryan Terpstra at the end of the first half, obviously they meant to refer to Edson, the guy who hasn't scored here so far. Gardner has scored. This is going to be Carlson for three. That's a strong rebound for Jordan Daly. In traffic, he's going to walk it up himself. Daly's out there in distance, and now Brink's going to come out and get it from Gardner. Stout trying to give him a pick. Brink going to pull up in the lane. Didn't really get his footing. Nearly a tie-up by Brink, but Carlson on the run. Blackledge, triple try, yeah.
Hope trying to get some transition offense here, Tom. That's exactly what happened there. Get the rebound, get out quick. Shot up and down.
Parks moving on Carlson to the front court. Daly curls across, and that's just a throwaway. You know, the thing that coaches will tell you about that pass that they don't like you throwing the ball backwards after you've gained some territory. It's just a counterintuitive play for the guy who's receiving the ball. You're thinking attack on offense. And when you make a back pass like that, a lot of things can happen that aren't good. This is Gardner. Calvin a little bit loggy here. That was off of Benson's hands, I think, out of bounds. Wallace Whitfield right there in the call. A little too much mustard from that pass from Ben Gardner.
Hope a little quicker on offense here, Tom. You've noticed they get the ball, they're putting it on the floor right away. They're not holding on to it. They're trying to cut, slash, create.
Here's Brink now. Another one of those soft passes back to Parks. Parks looking to go down the lane. Left hands it up. No, the follow and a foul. I think Parks knew exactly what he was doing there. He wanted to get it up on the glass, and he wanted to make the shot, but he knew he had somebody coming on the other side.
Yeah, I think he was looking more in the rearview mirror there than he was at the rim.
I think it's Blackledge who picks up the foul. Daniel Stout to the line. He was the guy that got hammered on the follow attempt for 2 free throws. And it's a bonus when a big guy is knocking down the tosses, because you're always concerned about that as a coach. He's going to get bumped around a little bit. Daniel Stout's been up to the task so far in this one. And he knocks down 2. He's got a half dozen. This little game for him here so far, and it's a 36-29 Calvin lead. Edson is free. That's the one he's got to hit right there, and it's still not happening. Tip try doesn't go. What do we have? The follow finally does go for Hope. The third try, Calvin took its foot off the accelerator after the miss by Edson, and they paid for it.
That was Harrison Blackledge, Tom, with the follow. He's got 10 now to lead Hope in this game.
This is Parks steps out. We had Stout inside. Just careless that time between Daly and Dykstra.
Calvin a little sluggish here, Tom, coming out of the half. A little surprised by that. They had that big lead going into the half. You know, you were looking to kind of protect it a little bit, but if it snuck back in, cut it in half.
Benson going on Stout. Stout creamed him on his way to the basket. Yeah, it's been a very, very stodgy start to the second half for Calvin.
That is his second. Team's first.
Calvin does not have a goal here in the first 3 minutes of the second half. Benson, who's providing some offense in this contest today. And they both go for Brock Benson. Calvin by 3. Parks trying to get into the lane. That's a great feed inside, but Stout went away from the basket. Now driving and knifing is Jordan Daly.
Calvin made it happen there, Tom, but again, getting back to your point, Calvin gave up ground that they had there.
Wallace Whitfield spots something. It's going to be a foul that goes against Benson, I believe, of Hope. Calvin played that pretty well going to the basket. You get a guy up in the air trying to make a pass, and doesn't always work the way you want it to work. Here's Brink now on the basketball against Gardner. Brink looking to go. Parks protecting Daly. Guarded by Edson. Got him up in the air. Stout, short corner jumper for the big fella.
Well, he's the catalyst right now for the Knights, Tom. No question about that. He's getting the ball. He's getting inside.
Benson trying to work on Stout now. Forces it lefty. Nice finger roll there by Brock Benson.
First points of the game for him.
After the first bucket of the game, I think Brady had the 2 free throws moments ago. We're going to get Connor Vanderbroek back on. Brink trying to go now on Gardner. Brink controlling it. Stout again. Yes, sir.
They're not guarding him, and they're letting him shoot it, and he's knocking it down.
The two big guys cannot guard each other at the moment. They've each scored the last 4 points for their respective teams. Benson's going to make it 6 here if he can. Well, he got there and drew the foul, and he's going to shoot a couple of free throws in a moment. But first, we're going to take a break. It's Calvin on top by 7 here in Holland today on WGVU.
Support by Freedom Village, a retirement community located in Holland, Michigan. Freedom Village is all about location. We are less than 3 blocks from historical downtown Holland and Hope College. Our city under roof offers an all-inclusive lifestyle for active seniors. We have an indoor swimming pool, hot tub, and gymnasium. We offer chef-prepared menus in our 5 dining rooms, a general store, full-service bank, and beauty salon. Our life care contract offers you long-term protection for all levels of care under one roof.
With 4 seconds left in this contest, down by 3.
Fellas, that's a great effort to get back where we are. It looks like we got 4 seconds. We got to have a 3. It can't be a 2. We're down 3. And here's what we're going to do. Jed, you're going to make this and we'll win the game in overtime.
West Coast Eye Care of Holland is a proud sponsor of WGVU. Dr. Kate Mulder and staff invite you to see like you're in the front row. For more, 616-395-2020.
NPR's All Things Considered and West Michigan's news, weather, and traffic. Weekday afternoons from 4 to 6 on WGVU FM 88.5 Grand Rapids and 95.3 Muskegon.
Well, some of the Hope student fans were a little bit upset with some of the calls, Brent, so they went to the bullpen. They got the right-hander up. They tried to get Wallace Whitfield to call it a day, and he wasn't exactly willing to do that. So, nice try, kids. Full marks for creativity there. The old replacement trick, referee trick.
Well, Tom, I think it's abundantly clear that Greg Mitchell probably decided at halftime, you know what, Alex Edson and Brock Benson both were scoreless. We got to get one of them going. And Benson's that guy right now.
I wonder if Calvin's going to change that matchup at all. Benson has now scored 5 in a row for his side. His team's within 6. Edson is still trying to get off the schneid, and we've talked about the impact of Jordan Brink. Missed free throw by Benson. Brink had 4 rebounds to go with 10 points, and he held his man scoreless. So that was a matchup Calvin won in the first half. Brink is going again and one.
Nice lefty take, Tom. Strong by Brink.
Absolutely. And there aren't a lot of guys that have the courage to go that way hard and then to go with their offhand, and got kind of a kind bounce. But Jordan, with his first bucket of the second half, can shoot his team back into a 9-point lead. Boy, he just looks real calm out there, like he's knows where he's at with his game, and he's getting it done tonight. Gardner Carlson lobs one over the top for 3. The little man.
No, that's Hope's MO. Working around the perimeter, find the open man, and they were able to do that and get 3 points.
Kelvin wants to exploit its size advantage. That ball was hit by the Hope player. Nice dish inside and then a foul. Fans were getting on the official at this end. That was Philip Miller, and I think Philip Miller had it dead on. He's explaining it to Greg Mitchell now, and I could see it. Vanderbroek looked like he traveled, but that ball was knocked out of his hands when he started to go up in the air. And a lot of people couldn't see where the ball was. Tried to suggest that he had traveled. We're going to get a man on Brad Visser here. And that's a missed free throw by TJ Heisinger. 3 fouls now against Edson. Wittenbach's going to come on, and Edson's going to go out.
Well, 3 fouls, no points. Not exactly how Greg Mitchell figured this afternoon would go for one of his best gunners.
Kind of interesting, too. Vanderstreet got a guy up to get Brink a blow just as Edson went out of there. So he's going to rest his top gun while Edson's out. Here's Wittenbach. Benson guarded by a new man now. It's Cameron Denny on Benson, which is a little better matchup from a quickness standpoint. That ball was touched. Wittenbach goes down to the baseline and knocks it down. Big basket for Steven Wittenbach. Parks, pounded by Carlson. Long triple try, not the shot Calvin was looking for there. A falling out of bounds three by Brad Visser. And here comes Hope, hoping to cut it to two. Blackledge. That's a tough shot for Blackledge. Whoa! Heat check.
Well, where would the Dutchman be today without Harrison Blackledge, Tom? He has come up big for them in every situation where they've needed it.
15 for Blackledge. Calvin's thinking about taking another three. They opt out of it. They're going to get a 3-second call. The man didn't get out of the lane. Instead, it's a miss inside and a charge as Blackledge took it in the chest. Cannoni's going to come in for Parks. Vanderbrug's going to leave. Stout is back on. Now you've got that lineup again for Calvin where you look at it, Brent, and you say, who's going to pull the trigger for us at the offensive end? No Parks, no Daly, no Brink.
Meantime, Hope 3 of 3 this half from three-point range, 6 of 9 shooting overall, so they have found their way.
You got Calvin with a lot of guys who are playing straight up and down. They're not moving their feet at all, and Blackledge most certainly is moving his feet. He gets to the stripe here and can tie this game at 46. Calvin's going to get Tyler Dykstra in, and I suspect we're going to see Brink real quick too. Blackledge with 16 in the contest. Vanderbrug's going to come out. Game tied for the first time since 23. If this free throw goes down, and it does. Stivey's in. Blackledge will get a quick rest. He's had a big ball game. And without one of their top ball handlers in there now, let's see how Calvin does against the pressure. This could be an issue. Brad Visser. It's a lob pass. Cannoni, nice take there by the young man. Inside, and that's how you break the press.
No look pass, perfect ball.
Heisinger with a bucket. Now Carlson quickly to the front court. I think Cannoni was the key player in that exchange. He made a calm catch at midcourt and then got it off on the wing. Cannoni picks up against Chad Carlson. This is Gardner. Stivey. Tough shot. Grand Valley's going to get Brink back on. Gardner against Visser. Cannoni. Ten on the shot clock. Calvin's got to get a 30. They're completely discombobulated. That ball was knocked out of bounds. I thought Vandestreek was motioning for a timeout, and instead they get Brink into the game, and none too soon. Gardner goes out. Sam Otto is back in. This has got to come back into the hands of number 12 here for a quick shot with only 6 remaining on the shot clock here. Cannoni barely hangs on to it. Going to force it up on the rim. Did well to do that. And Hope can recapture the lead. Carlson looking to go. Parks is going to come back into the contest. And Daly as well for Calvin. Cannoni chasing out on Carlson. Wittenbach hit his last shot. Benson dropped it in the corner. Otto. Carlson's guarded this time. Benson trying to roll on Stout. That's a bad shot. Had no angle whatsoever. Cannoni streaks out. Brink on the wing for 3.
Had a look, Tom. No question about that.
He had a little bit more time than he thought. He rushed it a touch and a foul on the rebound. That takes us to our next timeout with 11:46 remaining. We're in a flat-footed tie here at 48 today at the DeVos Fieldhouse.
recycling paper, plastics, metals, and more, Padness is making the world we live in a better one. Padness. Recycling the world over and over.
He can swim with whales without missing his bus. She can step on stage with Shakespeare while sitting at her desk.
The great globe itself.
They can travel through time and get back before lunch. Today, learning has no limits. See how millions of students and teachers nationwide are using PBS Learning Media to ignite learning.
At Hope, it's mind, body, and spirit. Hope. We live for this.
Well, when we talk about what Harrison Blackledge has done in this game, Brent, he's got it done on the glass as well. He's had a half dozen rebounds to lead his team, but those 17 points stick out in a big way as well.
Yeah, 4 of 6 shooting. He's 3 of 4 from three-point range. And as you said, getting it done, rebounding the basketball as well for the Hope Flying Dutchman, and certainly has helped bring them back into this basketball game, having been down double digits at the half. And we have ourselves a barn burner here for the remaining 11:46. No doubt about that.
Boy, Hope had to get people down on the floor. The referee, Brad Klaus, I think, set the ball down, and that means the count starts, and Cody Stivey raced down there and got it in a hurry. Calvin trying to D up right now. Carlson, ball was touched by Parks. Brinks on a breakout. Can he get there to do it himself? He's going to step through and score.
Good decision there. Take it to the rack, see if you can get an and one, but he'll take the 2 anyway and put the Knights back in front.
Stivey in the corner right now. Gardner's been out with cramps, we're told by Ryan Terpstra. He's going to come back in here shortly. This is Sam Otto, wide 3. That is a shot missed by Wittenbach, who looked like he got fouled, out of bounds to Calvin. Wait a minute. Oh, little correction here. There we go. I think Philip Miller had that the whole way. He just pointed in the wrong direction. Everybody knew it was knocked out by Calvin. Wallace Whitfield came in and helped his pal out. That's the basketball version of my bad. Benson now. Wittenbach has gone a long way in place of Edson. Here's Hawkins, who's back on now. Stivey cut off. Benson looking to go on Stout. Stout bent his legs a little bit, and Benson threw that one away. It's not a bad idea, but that's just way too hard to catch for anybody, let alone Wittenbach, from 4 or 5 feet away trying to glom onto that bullet.
Yeah, that was a bullet.
Garner is back guarding against Brink. This is Daly, who's with Wittenbach. Hawkins is the man who picks up Parks. Tyler Dykstra's out there right now with Stout. Brink looking for some help. Flops that one up, and that was eaten by Stivey, who was not fooled at all. Brink started through the lane and tried to motion like he was going to pass it off, Brent, and then just flipped it up there. I think he knew he wasn't.
He had to commit to that shot, Tom. There was nobody that he could have dumped that ball off to, with the double team obviously on him as well.
Boy, Stout looking to go on Benson. Puts it on the deck, tries to reverse, does, no. Out of bounds to Hope. Wittenbach was closest to the ball, but the referees are saying that somebody came over the top. Wait a second, wait a minute. They're just going to reset. Smart refereeing here by Brad Klaus. Hope thought they were going to get the player into the game. They're not going to do that. He's going to have to wait. And here comes Hawkins. His team trailing 2. Garner. That's a problem right there. Garner's going to miss that shot, but Tyler Dykstra is not doing much against that man as he comes around the screen. Parks through traffic in the front court. Brink got bumped by Garner. Brink still looking to bump past him, and then Gardner just a little too close to Jordan Brink, and he can't have too much of a case in that particular play. And Gardner has now picked up his third, and Stivey goes out.
You don't want to give Brink too much space. You know what he can do with it if you don't defend him close, but at the same time, you do run the risk of picking up a foul if you do that.
Oh, Brink felt the pressure, waited till it subsided, then he one-handed it up over Gardner. And again, Gardner's a great player, but Brink is a little bit too strong for him. Gardner inside, nicely done. Ben Gardner goes down to the baseline, keep it a 2-point ball game. Or to make it a 2-point ball game, I should say, at 52-50, Calvin. Here's Parks to the front court with Brink. Guarded by Gardner. I'd keep going back to Brink if I were Calvin. Here's Parks. Stout from 10. That's rebounded by Blackledge. Some of these shots are falling to Stout. He's got to step up and be confident. Wittenbach to Benson. Better from Stout. Wittenbach. Tough shot from the baseline. Going to be rebounded by Stout, and now Parks going. He's looking for Brink. He finds him. Tough shot for three.
One dribble and up.
Good recognition by the Calvin point guard, Austin Parks, so he had his head up. And we saw Brink running down the court, Brent, with his hand up, looking to spot up. And he did.
It's one of those situations, Tom, where he just knew where he was on the floor. He didn't really even see the rim. He knew exactly how much he had to put on that. And here comes Calvin again.
Looking for Daly this time. Instead, well, they get it to Daly. Uncontested three. Got it. Two big triples. Calvin jumps out by 8, and Greg Mitchell. And we'll take a media timeout right here. It's taken by Hope. So it's 58-50. Calvin on top.
At the Community Foundation of the Holland-Zeeland area, we know the impact of charitable giving. We build our community's endowment to ensure the future vitality of Holland and Zeeland. We'll always be around, for good, forever.
It's the PBS Kids Writers Contest. There's nothing else like it. We're looking for amazing stories.
They say everyone has a story to tell.
From writers in kindergarten through 3rd grade.
Is that something a dog can do?
Sorry, kids only.
I got a story I want to tell. Me too.
You'll get the chance to win a national contest and have your story published online.
Yes!
What could possibly be more fun?
This is the place where your mentors are looking for a cure, and you get to do it too. This is the place where your roommate is preparing an art exhibition, while you're marketing the show. This is the place where your engineering project not only earns you an A, but a seat at the table in the global conversation on clean water. This is your place in a big world. Plan accordingly.
Well, you always want to make the extra pass. Tyler Dykstra had a decent look at a three, but Jordan Daly is the guy who got it and got it down, and that was the second of a pair for Calvin. And what was a nip-and-tuck ball game is suddenly an 8-point lead again. Calvin weathering a storm. They didn't get their substitution quite right, Brent, when Brink went out of the game, and they had all three of their guards out at once, and that's when Hope kind of came back into it.
Well, 8 minutes to go here, Tom. Calvin keeping the hand on the wheel in this basketball game. Alex Edson is back in here for Hope. If there's ever a time when Greg Mitchell needs one of his best shooters, it's right now. Edson's still scoreless in this basketball game.
It's Hawkins for Carlson. Benson inside. Great defense by Calvin. Tipped out. Blackledge. Reset now, and that's a smart move by the Flying Dutch. Blackledge looking to go again. That was defended well on the baseline by Jordan Brink, of all people, who came over to help out on Blackledge, and no complaints from the Hope bench on that ball going out of bounds.
Hope not really trying to shoot the basketball there from the perimeter. They're a team that lives and dies by its guard play, and they're trying to get it in deep there. just didn't quite materialize for the Flying Dutchman, and as a result, Calvin with a chance here to extend the lead to 10, possibly 11.
TJ Heising is in right now along with Michael Welsh. And here is Tyler Dykstra to Parks, who's out there with Brink. Let's see if Parks can make it happen off the dribble. Nice back pass to Brink. Tough shot. Whoa! 3 more for Jordan Brink. Man, he is looking good in this ball game today.
He's been getting better and better as this game has gone on, Tom, and I'd say right now he's in range from anywhere on this floor the way he's shooting it.
That ball is taken away by Calvin. Parks has got numbers. He's got Brink's nice bounce. Forced it up, drew the foul, and will shoot 2. The shot will not go. The basket, the follow basket's not going to go. But let's see Brink again. That's a nice pass there. With Gardner had his back turned and Parks realized it, and he filled it through. And this is a contested ball, and Brink, just from distance, he's been amazing.
Well, that's just called feeling it, Tom. There's no question about it. When you're a basketball player and you're able to do that, you know, 2 out of 3 trips up court, your confidence level starts going through the roof. And we talked about at the beginning of the game how Jordan Brink goes in this basketball game is going to be how Calvin goes. And obviously his intensity and his ability and his scoring chances have picked up, and he's not thinking right now, Tom. He's just shooting the basketball, and Calvin is starting to feel it a little bit here in Holland.
Brink's offense has been fantastic. He has 25 now. He's going to get another short break. But you're right, he's playing with a clear mind and a clean conscience, and he's just letting it go and letting it happen, just reacting to what he sees in front of him. And he's gotten it done defensively as well. Now it's Daly, though, who's chasing Edson. Comes right out on him. Got a whistle inside. This is going to go, I think the foul is going to go against Heisinger on Blackledge. And that will be the 16th foul against Calvin. Common foul. Both teams now are to the bonus, not into it yet, but next foul on either side will bring a bonus situation. Garner, Carlson. Garner looking to go, trying to drop it off inside. That was great defense there by Connor Vanderbrug. And what do we have? We have a foul against Benson, I believe, of Hope. Boy, a great, what they call hedge and retreat by Vanderbrug. He sensed what was going to happen. He stepped out on the offensive attacker, then got back to play the ball, and then he was able to get it down and draw a foul.
Well, now Calvin is in the bonus situation here, Tom, for the remainder of this basketball game, up 13 points.
Well, that lead has just exploded. It was 52-50 a couple of moments ago. And these are huge tosses. If you can knock them down, they're 3 points for Vanderbrug. Vanderbrug's had a good ball game so far for his side. He has provided a total of 6 points off the bench. I make it 7 points now with those 2 free throws.
He and Daniel Stout both coming up big here today for Calvin.
Edson forced to give it away to Blackledge. Blackledge, that's a tough shot. He's wide open, and it's a mid-range jumper, but he got it down. Sometimes you can almost be too open. Across the timeline, Parks to Heisinger. Calvin wants to keep doing what it's been doing. Vanderbrug inside, lefties it up, got it on the rim. Daly, the putback, drew the foul. Nice work by Jordan Daly.
Full college foul number 11, Chad Carlson. That is his first. Team's 8th.
So as we go inside, 6 minutes remaining, Grand Valley, there we go again. Our Grand Valley crew probably getting a laugh out of that. It's Tyler Dykstra for Calvin.
Entering the line for the Knights, number 32, Tyler Dykstra.
9 of 10, Calvin is at the free throw line in this half alone, Tom. That's closing in on obviously 90% for the free throw line in the second half, and they're going to be getting there a lot, it looks like, for the remaining 5:57 potentially.
Calvin Brent gets 2 free throws from Jordan Daly, and here comes Carlson, who just picked up his first foul for Hope. Across to Blackledge, Edson. Oh, it's still not happening for him.
Well, that one was
That was
pretty deep.
A wing and a prayer. Parks, Daly. Keep in mind that Jordan Brink is still on the bench. That ball was knocked out of the hands of Daly, who thought he was fouled. We're going to get Sam Otto in, and I think it's Edson coming out, and perhaps for the final time. Jordan Brink comes back in, and if you're a Hope fan, you're thinking, ugh, that's not the guy we want to see.
Yeah, they're hoping maybe a few minutes on the bench might cool him off a little bit. We'll see if that was the case.
Parks looking to go. Calvin wants to be smart and judicious with the basketball now, but they don't want to give up good shot attempts. Ball inside, lefty layup goes for Michael Welch.
Nicely run, give and go, Tom. Perfectly played.
Gardner. Hope has to be extremely careful on the ball right now, and they are. Oh, that ball was knocked out of bounds. A great play by Parks, who reached in on Benson, who looked like he was going in for a two-hand tomahawk. That's one element of the Calvin game they've got to improve on. They're not playing that pick and roll very well, and Hope has made some time on that play. Here's Daly on the run right now. There's a drive to the basket and a hard foul against Tyler Dykstra, and it looks now like Calvin is poised to finish this one off.
Well, back to the free throw line, Tom, for Calvin, and they have certainly been successful there in the second half.
Take your pick on the foul. I think they gave it to Sam Otto. And Calvin showing the poise of a veteran side right now, capitalizing on their free throw attempts as Luke Dreyer comes in for the first time and Gardner goes out. It is 70-52. And Tyler Dykstra knocks in a pair. Wittenbach is on. Blackledge is going to go out. Blackledge has done everything he's been able to do today.
Yeah, he's been a one-man wrecking crew. 19 points, 5 of 8.
So now Carlson.
9 boards.
With Dreyer, who's in there for the first time. Otto, Benson. 12-foot shot and a quick timeout. A bucket makes it 71-54. We're going to keep it right here. It's a 30-second timeout taken by Greg Mitchell.
30 seconds.
Kelvin up 17, and as we look at the numbers right now for Jordan Brink, what a line he's got. 9 of 16 from the floor. He's made 4 of his 6 triple tries. He's hit all 3 of his free throws. He has 5 rebounds and 2 assists to go with his game high 25 points.
You know, to play off Jordan Brink, Tom, he's been interning with the Grand Rapids Drive D-League basketball team, and I know our friend Peter Wallner from MLive recently did a story on that. But not only is he interning, running the scoreboard, you know, grabbing loose balls at practice, they're letting him play a little bit during practice. So he's out there practicing with NBA caliber players, and you can't help but think that that is helping his game at this level.
That's exactly right. There's no doubt about it. I know that I saw Pete's article, and now Calvin's going to take a timeout. Welsh couldn't get it inbounds. And getting back to that point about Pete's story about Jordan Brink, some of the guys came over to watch him play at Calvin, and they said, yeah, he's got game. Well, they knew he had game because he's gone in there. And you talk about a D-League team, there are so many comings and goings in that league that very frequently the Drive, like other teams, will get caught shorthanded and not have enough bodies out there. So it's a pretty interesting thing to see Jordan Brink playing, and he's playing like a guy who's gotten a lot more used to playing against physical, tough play, which is what you see at the professional level.
Absolutely. It's nothing but upped his game, and you can tell that kid just eats basketball for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and you know, when he's not hitting the books at Calvin, he's either playing for him or he's interning for the pro basketball team in Grand Rapids and being able to play with some of the best players in the state.
Now they break it to Parks, who's guarded by Carlson. Let's see if Calvin can play with some maturity here. They don't want to put it into the freezer yet, but they want to be smart and take some time off the clock if possible. Here's Daly, who's out there. So they've got the 3 main ball handlers. Daly, Across it comes to Brink. Parks' first three try of the second half goes. Beautiful basketball for Calvin on that possession.
Now, there's not much you can do if you're Hope defending there. They did everything that they could. Calvin find the open man. The open man knocked it down. And there's a match.
And Sam Otto.
If you can make a three, so can I.
That was a heat-seeking missile right there. Let's see what Welsh is able to do. He's fouled by Wittenbach, who reached in. You really don't have any choice if you're Hope. You have to play this war of attrition. We're going to get to our final media timeout of the ball game here today at Hope. Calvin on top with 3:57 to go. It's the Knights by 17.
But it's cold outside.
Boy, with 4 seconds left in this contest, down by 3.
Fellas, that's a great effort to get back where we are. Now, looks like we got 4 seconds. We got to have a 3. It can't be a 2. We're down 3. And here's what we're going to do. Jed, you're going to make this and we'll win the game in overtime.
At Hope, it's about life-changing experiences. Hope. Live it.
Cunningham Dahlman PC, attorneys at law, proud sponsor of Hope vs. Calvin basketball on WGVU TV. Cunningham Dahlman PC, accessible, responsive, effective. More information at holland-law.com.
State and West Michigan news, in-depth features and interviews, reports on the financial markets and technology. Midday West Michigan, weekdays from noon to 1 on WGVU FM, 88.5 Grand Rapids and 95.3 Muskegon.
Well, we would like to take this time in our broadcast to thank our friends at WZZM TV, Channel 13 in Grand Rapids for their technical assistance in making this broadcast possible. They also threw in Brent Ashcroft as the player to be named later.
That's right.
So we're happy about that as well. Sometimes it's that player to be named later who turns out to make the transaction.
That's true.
What it was. Free throw misses here for Michael Welch, who's getting quite a run out now here in the second half. In there at the moment for Stout. Calvin has about 4 minutes to go to weather the storm here. And Welsh misses them both, but he got his rebound back and knocked down the bucket. Wow. How about those apples? This is Otto going against Jordan Brink. Brink steps over. Wittenbach, he tried to hit Gardner on the back feed, and Gardner stopped and went back the other way. It's a turnover at the 3:40 mark that sends it back to Calvin. And now Brink is guarded pretty closely in the backcourt by Luke Dreyer. Daly now dribbling through trouble, got fouled. I think it's Otto who got him. We might be here for a while shooting some free throws, Brent.
That's correct. It's 10 fouls now for Hope. Kelvin will get 2 here.
Kelvin won the JV contest. If you're interested in that, note, I think it was 70-58 was the final. Double bonus situation here for Daly. He misses the first. That's 3 straight free throws that Calvin has missed, and Kevin Vandestreek's not happy about that.
Well, with 3.5 to go here, Tom, this one looks like it's starting to fade away from Hope. Certainly size and depth for the Knights. And it has shown here this afternoon.
Well, Parks did a good job of playing Gardner that time. He threw it to the sideline where Sam Otto was able to save it. Now it's tipped out of bounds to Hope here at the 3:22 mark. This is Dreyer trying to go. Left hands it up and in. Nice bucket by the young man. Luke Dreyer is a freshman from Zeeland. First bucket in the Calvin Hope series. Brink got whammed by Brock Benson, who says, sorry. Stepped out with the leg right at the midcourt area, and now this is a guy who doesn't need to get rich at the free throw line to pad his stats at the end of a game. He's had some kind of a game already, and all the stats that you or I or anybody else could ask for in this contest.
Well, he leads Calvin in just about every offensive statistical category and for the season. And he's doing that all by himself almost in this game alone today against his arch rival on the road.
It's going to be a good Saturday night for
It is.
Jordan Brink. I got one other thing that I'll throw at you here after this free throw. Number 2 free thrower in the nation coming into this game in Division III. He's way up in the high 90s in that area, and he hasn't hurt his percentage at all either. Greg Mitchell now using some different folks here down the stretch, giving some of his younger guys a chance to play. Dreyer thought about it, ran through and scored again. That's a collision in midcourt. Could have been a foul. That could have been a foul. Getting a little crazy out there right now. Parks is going to try to settle it down. Brink in the corner. Calvin is being harassed by those defenders from Hope, but the Knights get it. Now they put it in the hands of Brink. And finally the foul against Luke Dreyer with 2:26 left in the contest. Calvin maintaining the 18-point lead.
And Hope will get a chance to pad some stats again here at the free throw line.
They've got a different looking crew out there right now. We're going to get a look at Keith Brushweiler, who's coming into the contest.
Well, I think Greg Mitchell, Tom, is sensing this one and decided to let it ride a little bit here. And like you said, let some of these young guys get a feel for a Hope Calvin game, because guess what? There's going to be another one in about 2.5 weeks in Grand Rapids, and you just never know. Some of these guys might get a chance to play in that one, and hopefully Hope will still be in the conversation when these two teams meet at Van Noord Arena next month. But it'll be tough for them starting out 0-2 in the MIAA. I can't remember the last time that happened to a Hope Flying Dutchman team.
Dreyer left it short. This is going to be rebounded. It's a foul over the top from Michael Welch, I believe. Michael Welch is the guy who commits the foul against Keith Brushweiler, high school buddies and teammates. How about that? From Stevensville. Two guys who've been on the court a long time, but not against each other. Missed free throw by the left-hander. And, oh, yeah, that's another rebound for Jordan Brink, who leads his team in that category today. Brink looking to go. He could have gone all the way that time, but he wants to run some clock. This is Welch. Parks. Parks has had a pretty commanding game in the backcourt today, Brad. He's handled the ball well, and the turnovers that have plagued Calvin so many times in the past in this game have not been there. What a dish that is. Beautiful back feed from Brink to Daly. And we had a buzzer that went off inadvertently there. I'm not sure if it was a shot clock reset or what. Oh, no, they call a foul.
Daly with 8 points. Actually, check that. That's 10 points now for Daly, so he is in double digits, joining Daniel Stout and Jordan Brink. Brink with 29 in this game, leading everybody, just blowing up.
In the ultimate gotcha for Calvin, they unload and make a mass change. 5 new guys on the floor for the Knights here for the final 96 seconds. And we'll try to tell you who it is. Seth Van Engen's in there. Cannoni's back on. Vanderbrug. And all substitutes for Hope as well. And here's one of them. Zach Littleson had his shot blocked. That one is picked up by TJ Heisinger. Cannoni, actually Visser had the ball before, and he's got it now. Vanderbrug. Calvin's going to be smart. They're going to move it around. Nick Kronmeyer's on for Calvin. Calvin looking to score some more, and they do through Van Engen. And a quick, oh no, they call it. Okay, Calvin called a quick timeout just to get a substitution in. I saw Brad Klaus do the signal for traveling, and he was just saying, no, we're not going to talk here. We just want to get a substitute on, which Calvin is certainly able to do. 85-61. What a game for Calvin here. And nice shot there by Corey McMahon, a triple. Inside a minute remaining Here's Kronmeyer, hounded in the front court, maintains his dribble. Very nearly fouled. Got rid of it to Cannoni. Cannoni's looking to go. Nice dish. The triple try is up and through for Brad Visser. When it rains, it pours. You can't do much about it if you're Hope right now.
Well, Kevin Vandestreek has to be absolutely thrilled with the way this basketball game has gone for him.
That's a triple. That's an air ball controlled by Calvin.
And that should do it.
This might be the last possession of the contest. And a little handshake right now from some of the teams. They're going to keep dribbling right now, but nobody's going to try to defend and nobody's going to commit any more fouls. It's Nick Kronmeyer talking right now with Mitch O'Brien. The ball is taken away and tossed back to the referee as the final horn sounds. It's a resounding victory for Calvin. The Knights win it 88-64, and when you talk about this one, you really have to talk about the leadership and the calm, commanding performance of Jordan Brink, who came up so big in this one, Brent Ashcroft.
No question about that. Jordan Brink, we talked about at the beginning, this game would be decided by the guard play of both teams, and Brink and Edson, which one of these two players was going to step up big for his basketball team today, and obviously Brink was able to answer the call. He got better as the game went on. Edson 0 for 8 from the floor, did not score a point in this basketball game, and tough one to take for Hope and for Edson, no question.
Well, let's go down to Turp on the floor, who's got to be talking to a very, very pleased coach of Calvin, Kevin Vandestreek. Ryan?
Yeah, that's right, Tom. Now, Coach, maybe you weren't quite as impressed with an 8-point halftime lead, but how do you feel about the final score here today?
Well, you know, like I said, I think we're kind of young and inexperienced in a lot of different ways, maybe, and to figure some things out. But I learned a lot about our team today. You know, they showed a lot of resolve and a lot of gut and courage, and you know, Hope's a good team. They're really well coached, and they're still figuring some things out too. They're going to be in the thick of things, you know, no doubt about it.
What does this mean for you guys going into the MIAA? It looks to be a very competitive league this year, and obviously this win means a lot.
Yeah, I think it's as close a group as what we've had in my time here. And I don't know if wins, losses will play that out. It's hard to say, but I think a lot of teams are capable of beating a lot of other people. But certainly I think it gave us a shot in the arm today and a little boost of confidence to say, you know what, hey, maybe we got a chance to be pretty good.
All right, congrats on the win today, Coach.
Thanks, Ryan.
All right, we're going to move over here to Jordan Brink. Obviously, we haven't named the player of the game yet, but I would expect that number 12 is definitely in the conversation. Jordan, just talk about this game. It's such a big result to go on the road and get a win in the MIAA here.
Yeah, in the past few years, we've struggled to bring the intensity from the get-go. And, I mean, we were prepared this year. We were ready for it. And we learned from our mistakes last year, and we were aggressive from the start.
The term feeling it, is it fair to say that that could be applied to you in the second half?
I mean, when you see a few go in, you know, your confidence goes up and you're a little more free to shoot it. But we had a good team second half. We rebounded the ball and played great defense.
Your coach just said he learned a lot about you guys in this win. What do you think you learned about your team?
We're sort of a young team. We have a few returners, but we have guys with new roles, new positions. So, yeah, we learned a lot. We learned that, you know, we're a tough bunch.
Congratulations on the win today, Jordan.
Thank you.
Tom, Brent, we'll go back to you.
All right. Well, why don't we take this moment to talk a little bit about the players of the game here, and we're going to come back and reveal our choices. But right now we'll take a break. Calvin has won it here today in Holland. We'll come back with more from the DeVos Fieldhouse after this.
By recycling paper, plastics, metals, and more, Padness is making the world we live in a better one. Padness, recycling the world over and over.
Support by Freedom Village, a retirement community located in Holland, Michigan. Freedom Village is all about location. We are less than 3 blocks from historical downtown Holland and Hope College. Our city under roof offers an all-inclusive lifestyle for active seniors. We have an indoor swimming pool, hot tub, and gymnasium. We offer chef-prepared menus in our 5 dining rooms, a general store, full-service bank, and beauty salon. Our Life Care contract offers you long-term protection for all levels of care under one roof.
This is the place where your mentors are looking for a cure, and you get to do it too. This is the place where your roommate is preparing an art exhibition while you're marketing the show. This is the place where your engineering project not only earns you an A, but a seat at the table in the global conversation on clean water. This is your place in a big world. Plan accordingly.
Well, a tremendous performance by Calvin. They looked a little bit adrift, really, Brent Ashcroft, in the first half. But when they got it rolling, they were able to consolidate their lead. They never really relinquished it. And then Brink just put on a show in the second half to carry his team to a pretty comprehensive victory.
Yeah, I guess the Brinks truck got kind of backed up here and dumped off a nice chunk of change here for the Calvin Knights at DeVos Fieldhouse. I tell you what, Tom, this was an impressive basketball game, obviously by Calvin. Hope threw a run at him there coming out of the second half. You knew that the Flying Dutchman were going to find a way to climb back into this basketball game. Couple of ties, but then all of a sudden things really started to get going. Jordan Brink started to feel it, get in the zone, whatever cliche you want to throw there. And we said it at the beginning. He sets the tone for this basketball team, for the Calvin Knights. And when he starts shooting lights out like he did in the second half, it just opens up so much more for this basketball team, for Calvin. And size and depth also were also contributors today for Calvin as well. But for them to pull away and win by 24 like that was incredibly impressive on the road.
Why don't we talk about our players of the game? The one guy who really found himself in this one today was Harrison Blackledge. 9 rebounds to go along with a team high of 19 points. So the young man from Ohio coming up big. You can't really put any of this on him. He was a lone wolf against Calvin for much of the afternoon. And if we're talking about the player of the game for Calvin, well, it might be the player of the year for Calvin, because it was just an unbelievable showing all the way around, among other good performances. But Jordan Brink with 4 assists, 6 rebounds, 29 points, one of only 3 double-figure scorers for his team, but he did it all. And the thing that's impressive about it, Brent, is he's guarded by Gardner at the offensive end, who's the best defender for Hope. He's guarding Edson, who's their best scorer at the other end. He shut him out. I mean, where do you even put that performance on a scale of 0 to 100? It's about 110.
And like you said, he's going to have a very good Saturday night on the campus of Calvin College. But after week 1 of the MIAA season, you have a 2-0 Calvin squad and an 0-2 Hope squad. A lot of basketball left to be played, obviously, in this season. But, boy, if you're the Flying Dutchman, you got some work ahead of you here to climb back into this one.
All right, that's going to just about wrap it up for us here today. For our entire WGVU crew, which includes our producer-director Phil Lane, and for Ryan Terpstra and Brent Ashcroft, I'm Tom Cleary. Thanks for being with us. Hope you'll be back in a couple of weeks for the rematch. But today in Holland, it belongs to the Knights. Calvin wins it here at the DeVos Fieldhouse. Our final score today, it's Calvin 88, Hope 64.
Today's game is underwritten by the Community Foundation of the Holland-Zeeland area, creating lasting positive change in our community. Cunningham Dahlman PC, accessible, responsive, effective. Freedom Village, an elegant retirement lifestyle. Lawrence and Vanderswart, it's good to have a plan. Padnos, paper, plastics, metal, and more. Rowerdink Incorporated, featuring AC Delco parts. West Coast Eye Care, see like you're in the front row.